Right, so in this question, we're going to solve some inequalities. So we're going to solve like we solve equations. So for this one, I'm going to minus 1 from both sides. So that will give me 10. And then divide both sides by 5. And then I get x is less or the same as 2. Over here, I'm going to have first, I'm going to expand the bracket. So I'm going to have negative 9x and then negative 6, because negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to minus 5x from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 14x minus 6 is less than 1. And then I'm going to add 6 to both sides, which gives me 7. If you divide both sides by negative 14, when you divide by a negative inequality, you have to flip that sign. So x is actually greater. And in this case, it's going to be negative a half, because 7 over negative 14 is the same as negative a half. I'm going to use these two answers now for this next part. So it wants me to put this on a number line to show my solution. So if you notice, the first question is kind of here, which we know is x is less or the same as 2. And then the second question is kind of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip that. So x is going to be on the right. So negative a half is actually less than x, which I can write then as one compound inequality. And then you have some draggables here. So the answers have to be between here. So we're going to have to use the dots. Because this says equal to, we're going to shade this dot in. Because this just says that it's less than, we're going to open it and then you're going to join them two together. That just means your values are in between negative a half and then goes all the way up to 2. Okay, right, the next question here, we have a rectangle and it told us the area. So we know the area, you're going to times the length and the width. So 5x multiply x plus 3, and it's going to equal 140. So if I expand that, we get 5x squared plus 15x equals 140. Because we have a quadratic, I am going to make that equal 0. So I'm going to subtract 140. I'm going to divide everything by 5 here, just to make it a little bit easier. Because 0 divided by 5 is just 5. We get x squared plus 3x minus 28 is 0. So now if I factorise these two, I'm looking for two numbers that when you multiply give me negative 28. But when you add them together, we get a positive 3. So in this case, it is negative 7 and, a positive 7 and a negative 4. So if both of these brackets, if you multiply equals 0, that means x is negative 7 or x is 4. So in this case, you can only have a positive value because you're talking about the sides of a shape. And if you do 5 times negative 7, it's negative 35. So then the next question wants you to actually show what that is. So 5 times 4 is going to give me 20. And then 4 plus 3 is going to give me 7. And we know, just to double check, if you multiply them together, you get 140. Right, this next question, we're going to drag one of these shapes in. So the first thing I'm going to do is this one here, because it's nice and easy. When the base is the same and it's dividing, you just minus the powers, so that's negative 9. So it can't be this bottom one. When the base is the same, when you multiply, you add them together. So n plus 4 is how you would write this one. So your answer is that top one. Right, the next question, it's showing you how a multiplication grid works. So 3 times 4 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15, and so on. So we have to fill in the blanks over here. So in this grid, the first thing I'm going to do is 7 over 2a multiply 2b. Well, because you're multiplying 7 over 2 by 2, they just cancel. So that's going to be 7a and then b. Because the next ones, we have to actually work out what is missing. We have to do some division. So if I do 14a squared b negative 2, I am going to divide that by 7 over 2a. So the first thing I do is 14 divided by 7 over 2. That's going to give me 4. We know when the base is the same in division, we subtract, so there's just a 1 when it's just an A. So that's just going to give me a to the power of 1, and then they don't have any b's, so we just write the b in. We're going to use that same method now to work out what this one is, but with the 12. So 12a, 5, b negative 1, and I'm going to divide that by 4a, b negative 2. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. A to the power of 5 divided by a to the power of 1, you subtract, that gives you 4. And then negative 1 minus negative 2 would change that to a plus, so that would just give you b to the power of 1. And then the last step, we have one answer to do. 3 times 2 is 6, a to the power of 4, and then b times b is b squared. Right, this next one just wants me to write all the expressions that would be the same, and we have 4 answers here. So the first one, 3x plus x would be 4x, so it's not that one. 3x plus x is 2x, and then 1 plus 3 would be 4, so that's 1. The next one, 4x minus x is 3x, and then 2 minus minus 2, that would change to a plus, and that would give you plus 4. So we found them. Right, the next one's worth a couple more marks because they're a little bit complicated, but there's 3 expressions we need this time. Okay, so if we go through them, first one, the only thing we can cancel out is dividing everything by 2, and the x would still be at the bottom, so it can't be the first one. Here, we can cancel one of the x's out, and then we can divide everything by 2. That would give you 12 divided by 2 is 6x, 10 divided by 2 would be 5, so that's 1. Right, the next one, if I expand the bracket, I'm going to get 6x plus 8 minus 13. So then if we do 8 and then we minus 13, we're going to get negative 5. So that's going to be another expression. And then the last one here, we've got 2. I'm going to do this one first because this one might be a little bit confusing. So if it is, let's leave it till the end. So here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand that bracket at the top. And then I can simplify each fraction before I subtract. So the x and the x would cancel out, so that's 9x. I'm going to minus... Ooh, let's undo that bit. Let me see. So 6x plus 5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3x and then plus 5. Because you're subtracting them, 9x minus 3x is 6x. 9x minus plus 5 is going to give you a negative 5, and that is the last one. And that are these questions complete. Okay, so that was the next one. It was quite long, that one, but well done. And I'll see you for the next one.